Is the cruise line responsible for getting you back to the ship on time, or is that your responsibility? If you get off in a cruise port on your own, go off and do your own adventure, is it not your responsibility to know what time that ship is leaving, what time you have to be back on board so the ship doesn't leave without you? Cruises are great for leaving responsibility behind, at least for a little while. Some responsibility, not all. They're a great opportunity to relax, to unwind, to unplug, and enjoy different places all around the world. But that still has to be done with a measure of personal responsibility, especially if you get off in a cruise port. Go off and have your own adventure, do your own third-party excursion, or if you're going down to visit some local bars, restaurants, have yourself a good time, you have to know what time that ship is leaving. You have to be back on board, or there is always the real possibility that ship will leave without you. Cruise ships operate on a schedule. They have to stay on a schedule. They cannot just indefinitely wait and hope that you will eventually show back up to the ship. Now, with all that said, it still happens. People do get left behind. People do miss the ship because they didn't make it back on time. And we have a comment today where someone believes, someone thinks that this sort of thing wouldn't happen if the officers on board cruise ship, the security on board cruise ships, they took the extra step, went that extra mile, and left and went out and looked for you. Went around to all the people in a cruise port and said, is this your ship? It's about to leave. Do you need to go get back on board? I mean, is it really their responsibility to come and look for you? Is it really their responsibility to go to the local bars and say, hey, you may want to start heading back? Or is that really a personal responsibility issue? I mean, the cruise line gives you a time, they post it, they announce it, they repeat it over and over again. It's a modern world. We all have a cell phone or a watch or some type of timekeeping device that you could set an alarm saying, hey, oh, look, I need to head back to the ship. I don't want it to leave without me. But believe it or not, there are people out there that think, hey, no, I shouldn't have to be responsible for myself. The ship should have to be responsible for myself. And they write in a comment that says that the ship should have done this. The crew should have done this. And the question, of course, will be, do people agree with that? Do they think that they should have no responsibility and take no accountability for some of the things that they're involved with? So the statement was made. Carnival officers or security should show a duty of care. This would not have happened if somebody had come to the bars on the pier in Cozumel and make sure everybody knew the ship was leaving. Well, believe it or not, 207 people voted and said they agree that this should happen, while 25,624 people said they disagreed. People need to take personal responsibility for being back on board on time. So somebody was in Cozumel having themselves a good time in one of the bars and missed the ship, didn't make it back, ship left without him. And according to the person that wrote this comment, well, this would not have happened if the ship had not taken a duty of care and gone to the bars and said, hey, you need to get back on board. Well, I'm just picturing this in my head. There are multiple ships, usually in Cozumel, every single day. How are they going to know who is supposed to be on what ship at what time? Are the ship's officers and security personnel all really supposed to leave the cruise ship, head into Cozumel, and start checking the bars to find that one person who clearly did not pay attention to what time they were supposed to be back on board, made no precautions, no arrangements, set no alarm to be back on board the ship on time? Or the fact that the ships blow those loud whistles to let people know, hey, pay attention, a ship is fixing to leave. But none of that is good enough. The ship should have sent people to check. Now, based clearly on the numbers, over 25,000 people understand a little adult responsibility. You have to get yourself back. It's on you. If you're not on a ship excursion, if you're off doing something on your own, it is your responsibility to get back to the ship. nobody else's. If you're one of those types of individuals that's typically late for things, well, if you're on a cruise, you might want to plan ahead so that you're not watching your ship sail off without you. But no, it's not the officers, it is not the security personnel's responsibility to go from bar to bar looking for you, going, hey, you got to get back on the ship. Are you about to get left behind? Like I said at the beginning, cruises are great for relaxing. They're great for stepping away from some of those day-to-day responsibilities, just chilling out, relaxing, enjoying yourself, getting a little rest, eating some great food, seeing some great shows. But at the end of the day, personal responsibility, but still part of cruising and still something that every cruiser needs to take their accountability for. But what do you guys think? Should the ship's officers, should the ship's security personnel be responsible for coming and finding you? Are they responsible to go to the local bars and say, hey, you're about to miss your ship? Or as adults, should we get ourselves back on time or face the consequences that if the ship leaves without us, it's on us? And that's going to be our video for today. If you've enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.